I needed a template for my metal riffs and my videos, and so I did one. And I filmed the whole process on how to do that. And I discovered way later that I forgot to record the audio that was coming out of my DAW. So I'm just going to walk you through the template, and I promise it's going to connect with the original video at some point. So this is a template that will work as a starter pack for my future productions. It's something that's as mix ready as possible, because you know, I love starting from scratch and exploring new sounds, but honestly it was long overdue to have a solid template. Of course I can always swap instruments or sounds later, but the goal here is to have a strong starting point that can evolve over time. So we started with the guitar. Here I made a track that I will only use for recording. I'm using archetype Nolly with a personal preset. So on this track I'm using the doubler. It's just to allow me to have a better idea on how it will sound when it's gonna be double tracked. It sounds like that. And we made a riff that sounded like that. Sounds heavy. So we double tracked the guitars. They are arpanned left and right. On the bass, I'm just using a multiband compressor just to control the chugs. And I'm also using a bit of EQ for the mix. So I'm just getting rid of unwanted frequencies and whistling tones. Then there is the bass tone. So without any processing, I'm using Modo Bass 2. I'm using the metal bass. The goal here is to use the bass like it was a DI, so we can process it later. I'm not using the amp, I'm just using some compression. So without any processing, it sounds like that. To control the dynamic, I'm using Finality from JST. Then I'm using JST Heat as some kind of bass amp sim. I'm using the black glass mode with a bit of compression and saturation. I'm also using Pro Q3 for some EQ moves and low control from BSA to, well, control the low end and enhance a bit the lower sub-frequencies. So with the processing, it sounds like that. There is also another track for a synth bass that I didn't use in this video. A lot of time in my productions I'm using a synth bass to complement the real bass. On the bass I'm just using track spacer, which is sidechain to the kick. We'll come back to that a bit later. And speaking of the drums, I'm using Addictive Drums too. This is one of my presets, which is based on the PCD 21st Breakdown preset. You can find this preset in the United Heavy library. So by itself, the preset sounds like that. Maybe as you can see, I'm using the plugin in multi-output mode that allows me to get the kick and the snare out of the plugin and using them right there to have a sidechain bus, which allows me to sidechain any instrument I want with the kick or the snare if I need to. For the processing, I wanted it to keep it as simple as possible, so not a lot of plugins, not a lot of routing and buses as well, because I want the CPU to, well, not suffer while playing music and recording the video at the same time. I'm using Parallel Aggressor from Baby Audio, so that works basically as my parallel compression and saturation. There is also a bit of EQ moves using low control as well to control the low end a bit better and also to give the kick a bit more punch on the sub. And finally, I'm using BSA clipper just to clip a bit of transients. And with all of that, the drum sounds like that. So with everything, here's the riff. Then I wanted to add some clean guitars on my template, so I did the same thing with the heavy guitars. I have a recording track with the doubler enabled. So for the guitar tone, I'm still using Archetype Nolly. I'm using one of Nolly's preset, which is called the Best Clean. And well, I mean, it's a really good clean, so why not use that? One thing I find really convenient with all the MSims plugin is that they usually comes with a lot of preset. So if you don't feel comfortable tweaking your own tone, you can grab a preset and start from there. In the case of Archetype Nolly, I think all of Nolly's presets are just excellent and make really good starting points. So if you have that plugin or any of Neural DSPs actually, just start from a preset from what you have in your head and I'm sure that will work. So on my clean guitar bus, I have a bit of compression to control the dynamic of the guitars and also a bit of EQ. And with the whole mix, and now we can connect with the original video and keep this template and riff going. Let's go. All right, we forgot a lot of things. I feel like a fool. As you already probably know, I forgot to record the sound that was out of my DAW. That annoys me a lot. And we also forgot to set a tone for a lead guitar. So that's what we're going to do right now. Let's keep the same part, just the guitars, the bass, and let's do something more traditional for the drum. Where am I? Rock you like a hurricane. Okay. Let's try the China. Okay, for the lead tone, I started from the same preset we used for the rhythm guitars. I just pushed the mids a bit and put a bit of delay and reverb. Of course, I disabled the doubler. I don't need that. Sounds cool, right? Wait. Oh, did I record that? Okay. Well, the pressure's up. Ta-ta-ta! Yeah, why not? Boom, done. All right, so you know what? Let's double the riff at the beginning because I think it's nice and it deserves to be heard a second time. And I also just did a bit of compression and parallel compression on the mix bus. So here's the final result. Alright, and that's it for today. So, what did we learn? We learned that when you do something, you have to do it right and check at the beginning if you're recording everything. And on top of that, we also learned how to do a template. Alright, so what do you guys think? Is there something I forgot to add in there? I guess we'll see in the next video sometime soon. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.